Snezhana, and I have Paul with me from Fiduciary Wealth Management, and we are going to answer some questions about taxation in Gibraltar. So, hi Paul.
Hi Anna.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. And you?
Okay, thank you for having me today and answering these important and questions which I find difficult to find answers on the internet. And we are starting with the first question. What are income taxes for different residency types in Gibraltar?
Yes, very good question. I think essentially there are three. One, if you qualify as a category 2 individual, a high net worth individual, you need net assets in excess of 2 million, and then you pay a flat rate, which is roughly 44,700 or around that figure, yeah? It's a flat rate.
Okay.
Alternatively, if you have skills that are attractive to Gibraltar as a jurisdiction, then and you're a senior executive, then you can qualify under HEBS rules. And basically what it means is that you pay a flat rate of tax of around just under 40,000, because you're taxed just on the first 160,000 of income. So senior executive or someone with specialist skills, they can get a HEB certificate. High net worth individual, in excess of 2 million, they can become a category 2 individual, and they pay a flat rate of 45,000 tax a year on a worldwide income. And the third option is on self-sufficiency, either as an employee of a local company or as a self-employed sole trader. Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's two taxation systems that run parallel to each other. The first one is the allowance-based system, which is based on allowances. You're given deductible allowances from your income, and then you pay tax between 16% and 41%. The other one is the gross income-based system, and there you pay tax between 18% and 27%.
Right.
You've got no allowances, but you've got wider income tax brackets. Under the gross income-based system, if your income is below 25,000 sterling, then your tax starts at 8% and peaks at 30%.
Right. Okay.
So that's really how it works. The good thing about the Gibraltar Tax Office is that as either a sole trader, self-employed, as an employee, the tax office, when they assess you for tax, they run the two systems, and you will be taxed on the lower of the two.
All right.
So you might apply for one, and then when they do the tax assessment, they realize that it would have been more advantageous to be taxed under the second one. They'll tax you under the second one.
Okay, next we continue with taxes, and we'll be talking about property taxes, please.
Okay.
Just a little bit about that. Buying, selling, if you
Yes.
want to buy to let, what kind of...
Well, if you're renting, I would imagine you pay tax at your marginal rate of tax,
Right.
depending on your total income and which rate of tax you're at. If you reach the maximum rate of tax under the gross income-based system, then you pay tax at, I said, 27%.
Right.
That's the maximum you pay. So yeah, that is based on your marginal rate. All income sources are accumulated, and then you pay tax. So that is in respect of renting property.
Right.
And then you say what property taxes you pay. I think they introduced stamp duty not so long ago,
Right.
which was relatively new to Gibraltar. Prior to maybe a year or two ago, there was no stamp duty on buying a property.
Okay.
But of course, like every other country post-COVID, they need to raise revenues. So they introduced stamp duty. So the way it works, if the property that you buy is less than £200,000 sterling, there is no stamp duty, zero.
Okay.
However, if your property is between 250,000 and 350,000, you pay 2% up to 250,000,
Okay.
and then 5.5% for anything in excess of 250 up to 350.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you are paying 2% on the first 250,000, and between 250,000 and 350,000, you pay 5.5.
Right. Okay.
So that's how it works. It's on a tiered system. And then if the property that you're buying is up to 350,000, you pay. So let me explain that again. If you have a property which is worth more than 350,000, so let's say 500,000. So you're buying a property for 500,000. On the first 350,000, you pay 3%.
Okay.
And on the next 150 up to 500,000, you pay 3.5%.
Right.
So if you buy a property of 1 million, just to give you another example, the first 350 you pay 3, and the next 650,000 you pay 3.5.
Okay.
So yes, basically the more expensive the property, the more you end up paying. But it comes into 3 categories. The below 200,000, no stamp duty on buying. Between 250 and 350, they've got a system where you pay depending on the amounts, and then if the property is worth over 350,000, again you pay something on the first 350 and something on the excess.
All right. Okay. Okay. Thank
So,
you. Okay. The most important question, of course, what is tax-free in Gibraltar? Like, what type of income is not taxable?
yeah.
Benefits of-
Exactly. Assuming you have established residency correctly and properly, and you're paying tax here. Because in the June 2022 budget in the House of Assembly, there were noises that if you're not a Cat 2, then we'll tax you on savings and all that. I don't think that has gone very far. But I think they've tightened the rules on self-sufficiency to be a qualified person. So right now, you become tax resident in Gibraltar, you pay your taxes, whether it's through HEBS, Cat 2, whether it's as a sole trader, or through your own local Gibraltar company, or through an employer. If you do things properly, then in theory there's no capital gains tax to pay.
Right.
So you dispose of any assets, there's no capital gains tax.
Okay.
There's no dividend tax.
Okay.
So if you have a UK company and they pay you a dividend, they don't tax in the UK and they shouldn't tax you here. There's no tax on interest savings. So if you have bank deposits or other forms of savings in Gibraltar, there's no tax.
Yeah.
There's no inheritance tax in Gibraltar, but you have to be mindful of the country you have just left or your country of birth to see what the rules are. For instance, in the UK, inheritance tax is not based on tax residency. It's based on the concept of domicile, which you covered in the prior video. And domicile is based on your place of birth or your father's place of birth.
Right.
So you can become tax resident in Gibraltar but still be liable to UK inheritance tax on the value of your estate. And there's ways of mitigating that tax whilst you're here. So this is where we can add considerable value. And then there's no VAT
Right.
either.
Okay.
So I think, besides having low taxation generally, these are areas where you can immediately benefit. Also, for British nationals moving their UK pensions across to a Gibraltar-based QROPS, and QROPS stands for Qualifying Recognised Overseas Pension Schemes,
Right.
then you only pay tax at 2.5% on any pension income that you draw. So if you're a higher rate taxpayer in the UK and you're paying a exorbitant amount of tax, you transfer those UK pensions because you move here and you're paying 2.5. I mean, 2.5 is a notional tax, it's just a little slap on the wrist, but it's nothing too onerous.
Right.
So now there's different ways of structuring it to keep your tax base as low as possible.
Right. Okay. And no wealth tax, right? Like
Of
in some
course.
countries.
Of course, I forgot that one. No wealth tax. In Spain, there's a wealth tax, as
Yeah.
you rightly point out. Yes,
Yes.
correct.
So, okay, well, thank you so much. And also another one, I don't know actually where that goes, that when you trade Forex, because if many viewers who are watching my channel know that I trade Forex, and if you trade it for yourself, and all the profits tax-free, correct? So
I haven't dealt with any individual that has forex, so I can't profess to know how it's what the taxation would be.
right.
But I think you mentioned, and I think it makes sense, if you trade for third parties then it becomes
That's
profitable and taxable.
Yes, but if you
But
trade,
if you trade from your own money,
yes,
then it's free of capital gains like anyone would.
yes,
And I think that's the difference.
yes. So
That makes
that's
sense
what
to
it
me.
is, yes.
As I said, I haven't dealt with a case where someone has asked that question and we've established residency on that basis, but it sounds pretty logical to me
Yes,
that that's how they treat it slightly different.
yes. And talking about forex,
Yes.
so we are going to make another video together on my forex channel, and we will be talking about gold, right?
Correct.
So we will have two aspects of looking at gold. I am more looking as a technical view picture, and you will be more,
From a macro point of view.
yes,
So we're going to look at it from different angles.
different angles. Yes.
And see where we agree and disagree. I think it will be very interesting for your viewers to
I think
have
so.
a discussion about
Yeah.
gold because it's very topical these days.
Yes, because most what I look is the charts, and you
And
look at
At the macro environment.
yes, main picture. So I think for many of you guys would be interesting, not only for who trade gold, but also if you are buying it and just holding it. So that would be something for you to watch. So that's the different channel will be on my Jana FX. Okay. So and now we're finished.
Thank
yes,
you,
thank
Jana.
you very much again for your time
Thank
and
you.
answering these hard questions. And if you have any other questions about residency, and you can all find the links in the description of this video. Paul and his team are always there to help you with, guys. And we will see you next time. And bye for now.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.